In this video, we're going to show division using a number line, and I'm using the app Braining Camp. So the first problem we're going to start with is 6 divided by 3. So when we're using division, we're going to be decreasing, so we're going to be using the red arrows. So the first thing we need to do is find 6 on the number line. And when we're dividing, we're going to break this up and see how many jumps of 3 gets us to 0. So we're going to use the red, and we're going to adjust this so that it's jumps of 3. So right now we have 1 jump of 3 that gets us to 3. So now we're going to make a copy, and we find that we end up at 0, which is what we want. So how many jumps got us to 0? We got 1 and 2 jumps. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. So let's try another division problem. Let's try the problem 15 divided by 5. So we're going to work this problem the same way. We're going to start at 15. So there's 15. I'm going to use my red arrow. I'm going to adjust it so it's a jump of 5. And now we need to find how many jumps of 5 gets us to 0. So we make one copy. Nope, not yet. Another copy. Oh, there we go. So now we're at 0. So that's how many jumps? 1, 2, 3 jumps. So 15 divided by 5 equals 3. Let's look at one more problem. So let's look at 24 divided by 4. Again, we're going to find 24. We're going to use my red arrow because we're dividing. And we're going to adjust it to make it 4. So now we need to find how many jumps of 4 is going to get us to 0. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we end up with 6 jumps to get us to 0. So 24 divided by 4 equals 6. Now we can also use this on an open number line. So we're going to do those 3 problems, but in this we're going to now do it as an open number line. So we're going to start with the problem of 6 divided by 3. So I type in 6 in the box, and since I'm dividing, I'm going to use my red arrows. And because it's 6 divided by 3, this becomes 3. And we want to see how many jumps is it going to get to 0. That's the plan when we're dividing, is always get to 0. So right now we're not at 0, so if we make another copy, oh, now we are. So that took 2 jumps. So 6 divided by 3 equals 2. So now let's look at the problem 15 divided by 5. So we always start with our beginning number here is 15. I use my arrows. I'm going to change this to 5. And now I'm going to figure out how many jumps is it going to take for me to get to 0. So 1, 2, we're not there yet, and 3. Here we are, now we're at 0. It took 3 jumps, so 15 divided by 5 equals 3. And let's look at the last problem, which was 24 divided by 4. So we type 24 in the box. And in this case, we're going to break it up in jumps of 4. So make that 4. So how many times? Let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So it took 6 jumps to get from 24 to 0. So 24 divided by 4 equals 6.